seems to make sense.
The world runs on logic until it doesn't. Every now and again, reality throws the rulebook to something completely absurd, and when that happens, history doesn't look away, it writes it down. From wars with emus to a plague that made people dance to death, these are the moments when reality glitched. Here are 10 bizarre historical events that sound made up, but actually happened. Yes, Australia once went to war against birds. After World War I, soldiers who became farmers in Western Australia faced a massive invasion, 20,000 emus trampling their crops. The government sent armed troops with machine guns to deal with them. But the emus were too fast, too scattered, and too smart. After weeks of effort and thousands of rounds fired, the birds were still winning. The government called off the operation. Historians now joke that the emus won the war, and technically they did. In July 1518, a woman named Frau Trophäa began dancing uncontrollably in the streets of Strasbourg. Within a week, dozens joined her, all unable to stop. Some danced until they collapsed, and some even died from exhaustion. There was no festival, no music, just pure chaos. Modern theories suggest mass hysteria or ergot poisoning from mouldy rye bread. Either way, it's one of the strangest disease outbreaks in history. Pope Stephen VI decided to put his predecessor on trial, even though he was already dead. The corpse of Pope Formosus was dressed in papal robes, seated on a throne, and questioned by the living pope. A deacon answered for the corpse while it sat there decaying. The verdict: guilty of perjury. They stripped the body of its title and threw it into the river Tiber. It's one of the strangest chapters in Vatican history. Two American soldiers were killed while trimming a poplar tree in the Korean demilitarized zone. In response, the US launched Operation Paul Bunyan, an enormous military show of force, just to cut down one tree. They sent axes, chainsaws, dozens of vehicles, aircraft, and 27 helicopters in a massive show of force. The tree came down without another fight. The whole operation was to prove a point, a clear message that even a single tree wouldn't stand in defiance at the border. At lunchtime on January 15th, 1919, a massive storage tank filled with molasses burst open. A 15-foot wave of sticky syrup roared through Boston streets at over 50 kilometers per hour. Buildings were knocked off foundations, horses and people were swept away. 21 people died, and nearly 150 were injured. For decades, locals swore you could still smell molasses on hot days. After signing a peace treaty, Napoleon Bonaparte held a celebratory rabbit hunt. His staff released hundreds of rabbits for him and his men to shoot. But something went wrong. Instead of running away, the rabbits charged at Napoleon's army. Turns out the event planner bought tame farm rabbits who thought they were being fed, not hunted. Napoleon fled his own battlefield, defeated by bunnies. In November 1970, a huge whale carcass washed up on the Oregon coast. Officials had no plan to move it, so they tried something new. Blow it up with dynamite. Reporters gathered to film the event.
All right, Fred, you can take your hands out of your ears. Here comes pieces of money.
The blast sent chunks of rotting whale flesh raining down across the beach and into a nearby parking lot, crushing one car. It became a local legend and a famous lesson in bad problem solving. During the brutal winter of 1511, Brussels was buried under snow for weeks. With famine and disease spreading, the people turned despair into expression, sculpting hundreds of snow statues throughout the city. But these weren't happy snowmen. They mocked politicians, priests, and even death itself, blending dark humour with open protest. The event became known as the Miracle of 1511, one of history's earliest and strangest acts of public rebellion through art. By the 1850s, London's sewers emptied directly into the Thames. When a brutal heatwave hit, the entire river turned into a boiling vat of sewage. The smell was so revolting that Parliament couldn't function. Lawmakers soaked curtains in disinfectant just to stay in the room. The crisis finally forced Britain to build the modern sewer network that still serves London today. During the Cold War, the US Air Force studied Project A119, a plan to detonate a nuclear bomb on the moon. The goal was to show scientific dominance over the Soviet Union after Sputnik. The proposal even involved a young Carl Sagan. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed. The project was scrapped, and the moon stayed intact. The world's full of stories too strange to invent, and these were just the beginning. If this is what history looks like, imagine what's still hiding between the pages. Subscribe for more unbelievable true stories, and see just how weird reality can get.